So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. In this one, we're going to talk about how iOS 14 is better than Android. Now, I do have the iPhone 11 Pro representing iOS 14, and over here, Google Pixel 4 XL representing one of the finest versions of Android on the market. Now, we're going to begin with the family sharing feature here for iOS 14. It says a simple way to share your subscriptions, your purchases, iCloud storage, and more with up to 6 people in your household. So yeah, we do have a way to just make iOS better for, having, multiple people in your house using it. You got iMessage already doing fantastic, but if you got kids with it, you can now do parental controls with the family, with children right here. You can see screen time and parental controls are built in for the families and children. So, I mean, all this stuff going on here with the iOS 14, and then throwing on top of the fact that you can have it with multiple features enabled with the family is just incredible, I think, for 14. So one of the better features for 14 is there. Now, there is a reason that Android is better for, family, but I will discuss that one in the reasons why Android is better than iOS, because I'm coming back with the next video on the reasons why that is better. So be subscribed for that one. Now, the next feature is going to be the Smart Stack widget. Now, I know that a lot of Android widgets are more interactive. Like, you can place a widget on screen with Android and you can kind of scroll through that widget like a calendar widget, for example. But at the same time, this one can stack multiple widgets. As you can see, you can scroll through these multiple widgets right here, and that's pretty neat. It cleans up the mess of having multiple widgets on the home screen. So a nice feature right there in Smart Stack. And now the next one has got to be the picture-in-picture mode. Now, for the YouTube, it's not available yet for YouTube, the app, but it does work on Android with just a regular YouTube app. Right here, we press play. You can pinch to expand it. Now, Samsung Android version does, like the One UI does have the ability to pinch and zoom in on their picture-in-picture kind of mode, but that's in the gallery. Over here on iOS, you can do it here pretty much anytime you're going to be using this. And also, if you go over here, you can swipe over and still hear the audio when you swipe it over there. So they basically took the picture-in-picture from Android and just made it better here for iOS 14. So definitely at number 3, picture-in-picture. Next feature at number 4 is the app library. Now, at first, this looked kind of jumbled up together, but if you really look closely, this is very neat how it intelligently organizes everything into, folders on its own. Now, in Android, they do have the app drawer, where it just places all the applications. But if you want to make folders, you can do it in the One UI within the app drawer, for example, on a Samsung phone, or different launchers here on the stock, Google phone here. It's just more legwork. I mean, Apple's kind of doing all the work of organizing it for you directly in the app library. However, if you did want just a clean app drawer where you could just see all your apps, it's not going to happen here. You're just going to have to click up here to see them like so. But at the same time, I do think this is one of the better features of iOS 14 over Android, is just how simple they organize all these apps within the app library for basically anyone to find just based on category. You would essentially need a different launcher to get the same functionality on the Android platform. Now, the next one is within Maps. Now, you can see San Francisco. Let's say I want to go to San Francisco, not right now due to COVID, but if I wanted to go to San Francisco, for example, I'll hit see more, and you can see I have all these guides because I've never been here. I want to see what's going on. Now, Google used to have a similar app to this. It was called Google Trips, but they kind of got rid of that. Now they kind of just show you suggestions within the map section, but having the guides right here within the iOS 14 is just a better feature over the Android platform for me when it comes to maps. However, cycling directions are also going to be a little bit more in depth when they come to all the cities than the cycling on Google Maps. But Google Maps has had a huge start over Apple when it comes to cycling directions. So it's going to be some time, but the map improvements are looking nice here for 14. Okay, so the next one has to do with privacy, something that Apple takes very seriously, and I love that because that's one of the most important things when you're putting all this data on a phone. You definitely want, to have control over your privacy. So really like this. Now, what is the big deal here at number 6? And that is, well, you can go into specific location apps and really turn on and off precise locations, like right exactly where you are. Say you're in, a major city and you don't want to be precisely located. You just want the app to know you're in a major city. We'll turn that off. But if you want to know precisely where you're at, then definitely turn it on. But just giving you that level of control is pretty sweet here. One of the reasons why privacy is still better here on iOS. Also, not just that, when you're in Safari, if you go over here and you click this double A up here, you can see that we do have a privacy report right here as well, which will show you what's tracking you on Safari. So another privacy benefit here for this device. So the next one is universal search. So let's say I'm looking for notes. You can see right here that it's not just going to show the app, it's going to dig down and find the exact notes and stuff like that. And it does this for files, iMessage, stuff like that as well. Whereas over here on the Pixel or, an Android phone, type in notes and all you're going to see is an application or an ability to search. Now, same thing for messages. If I type in messages, I'm just going to get messages right there. So I'd say a much more search similar to something like a PC or a computer, where you can really dig into the system and find everything you want. So definitely the universal search getting better here over Android on the iOS 14. I hope Android implements that soon. The next one is audio. So what do I mean by this? Well, we can go to YouTube, for example. Let's go over here and go ahead and say we're going to record something. You can see that little green dot up there. It's letting you know when an application is using video, and it'll let you know when it's using audio as well. So if we go over to video and we start recording, it'll tell you that it's a camera up there. Now also, if we go ahead and start using audio, it will show an orange light. So this phone right here is giving you the ability to know when somebody's tracking your audio or video. That's a great privacy feature, especially when browsing. If you don't know if an app or a website's using audio or video, you could lock it down and figure that out. Whereas you're not going to see that dot here on Android when you're opening up the camera or anything like that. Now, I think this is going to come to the Android platform, but right now this is a better feature for iOS 14. And at number 9 is these inline replies in iMessage. I could just hold down on the message and just reply to a specific bubble within the iMessage. That's pretty neat, especially if you just want to reply to one thing and you don't want to get lost within that conversation. So iMessage improvements are pretty fantastic here. And also you can see right up here, you have pinned conversations as well. So just more improvements to the overall messaging experience for iOS. And for number 10 is the list view built right into the app library. So you can see right here, we can go alphabetically through our list of applications. I find this super simple, especially for people who just don't want to dig around looking for, applications. So they got you covered on both. So if you're the type of person who just likes to see visuals, you got this app library. But if you're the type of person who works in a list, you just click the app library and find it. So it's got both people covered, people who think more on lists and people who think more visually or see or just operate more visually. So over here you can see on the Google Pixel, I find this very simple as well. It's alphabetically laid out A through Z. You can also go ahead and swipe over here on the side and it'll go through and show you a little letter of where you're at in terms of A through Z. So it's a pretty similar feature, but it's not in the list view. However, you can get a launcher that will throw this in list view easily on the Android platform. However, again, that's tinkering, that takes time. Some people don't know how to do all that stuff, how to get it exactly customized how they like. So Apple's still winning on the simplicity factor. It's just built right into the software. Oh, and also you're likely to go ahead and find just a faster performance within the iOS platform just due to optimization, and iOS 14 is going to be no different here, although it's a little bit buggy right now. And lastly, as a bonus, you can get iOS 14 on phones all the way back to the iPhone 6s from 2016. Now, you can't get it on older Android phones like the latest Android 11. Like, you're not going to get Android 11 on a Galaxy S6 Edge, for example. Like, you're not going to get Android 11 on a Galaxy S6, for example. It's just not going to happen. Or even an S7. It's just not going to happen. But it's definitely happening on older iPhones. So still crushing it with support. And at this point, you start to think, is there many reasons to buy an Android? Well, I definitely have 10 coming, so stay tuned for that. And let me know your thoughts on this video. Do you think all these features make it just impossible to recommend an Android phone right now, or do you think that there's still many ways Android's better? Let us know down below. The intentions of this video was to educate you more on some of the more advanced features coming to iOS 14 and to kind of give you an idea of the differences between both platforms. I did more of a breakdown in my Android versus iOS 14. There was like a full comparison I did a couple weeks back. I will leave a link down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Be sure to stay safe, stay well. Nick here. Thank you for watching, and peace.